This automobile was born of royalty. Debuted in 1975, the Camargue was the new flagship of the Rolls-Royce lineup and the most expensive production car in the world. 6 years earlier, Rolls-Royce entrusted the styling of the new Camargue project to renowned Italian automobile designer Sergio Pininfarina. This was to be a very new kind of Rolls-Royce.
I always loved Camargues. I thought the Coachbuilding was phenomenal on them. I liked them because they didn't look like a traditional Rolls-Royce. The average person didn't know what they were. They didn't understand them. I think you had to understand great Coachbuilding to understand them. You know, just the little detail work, like the little light on top of the front wings, and everything was put in with beautiful screws, nuts, washers, you know, things like that. They were just great cars. But to most people, like I said, they didn't understand them because they didn't look like a traditional Rolls-Royce.
In 1986, the Camargue saw its final production run. That year, a special edition model was created solely for the U.S. market. These 12 cars were appointed with advanced features and special styling, while maintaining its hardtop configuration and classic Pininfarina lines. This is the story of how one of these cars was then transformed through ingenuity, artistry, and daring. It is the story of a unique artist, a master coach builder, and the creation of an automotive masterpiece. In 2010, this Camargue found a home in John Ellison's Calumet collection. The collection emphasizes Rolls and Bentley, from Silver Ghost to the new Phantom, and includes a number of other unique cars.
The passion for fine automobiles with a lot of craftsmanship, which is part of the passion of the collection. When we see a finish on a car, a dash, a very special dash, a wood graining, a veneer on the wood, the biggest engine, doesn't matter if it's a Ghost, it's a Cadillac, it's a Lincoln, they all have that special thing that in that moment was unique to that model or to that year or to, let's say, car industry in the moment. Passion for cars. This car is one of the jewels of Calumet collection. It's a very important piece of Calumet collection because it's not only rare being a Camargue, but the only Camargue convertible and retractable in the world. That makes this car so unique that it had to be in the collection. It just had to be in the collection.
This car's remarkable engineering inspired the collection to find out more about its history. In 2012, they discovered through the original dealer that famed coach builder Nikko Sokol was responsible.
I started a carriage house in 1970 in Manhattan on the Upper East Side, the largest factory authorized Rolls-Royce dealer in the world. I had the first one delivered in America, and there was a gentleman out in Long Island who purchased it from me. The gentleman never even took delivery of it. I delivered it right on a truck to Nikko. And I watched every step of that car. It was incredible. I mean, the workmanship was equal or better to that of the factory.
Intrigued by the man and the mastery of his work, the Calumet collection reached out to Nikko Sokol to document the story of this car.
Nikko is not a person that at the beginning looks like wants to talk to you about it, but he's a very nice guy in the inside. So after seeing that John was really interested in the car and really interested in Nikko's work, he was all the way very excited about doing it.
We found Nikko engaged in 2 projects. The first was in the final stages of turning a Rolls-Royce Phantom hardtop into a very comfortable and spacious convertible.
Can we
by all means, take it.
We can both sit easily.
Come in, Nikko. Yes, you come in and sit inside this too. I'd love to have you.
Look how much space you have.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
This project demonstrates the hidden technical achievements required to radically alter an automobile of this caliber while holding true to its classic style. Consider the rear doors and the small quarter window which had to be removed.
To go back to it, to the rear part of it, we had to eliminate a quarter light. And the only way it could be done by extending a rear door.
But this wider glass could no longer slide straight down into the door. So Nikko redesigned and fabricated the mechanisms with compound movements, something yet to be seen in Rolls-Royce.
That created a little difficulties, but everything works. And the rear compartment is as vast as any car you ever seen because you can comfortably fit the 3 people inside. I was asked if it could be done, and it's not a space shuttle. I told him it's the car, so it could be done. To start with, you have to have a love for it, otherwise it's not just a job, it's more to it. To me, I look at it as another sculpture.
Which brings us to the town of Bohemia, Long Island. In his namesake shop, Nikko works his other project. And though it isn't a conversion, it has everything to do with the essence of metals, design, and yes, the automobile.
Yeah, well, this is Emily, my new sculpture. This is the first thing I have to do to give her her face image. I don't really know what the flying lady Emily face is like. So I took the face of a beautiful woman. If you measure the face and the distance between the eyes and nose, size and all that, she fits to this. She's beautiful, but she's old. It's 100 years old. I want to put her in a computer age. I want to make a meeting of BMW and the Rolls-Royce. She's going to be abstract. She's going to be almost robotic. She should change slightly. Not too much that you won't recognize, of course.
Emily, a large-scale modern interpretation of the Flying Lady, continues Nikko's work with the materials, finish, and themes of automotive legends.
I love to tell stories, but I have a limited vocabulary. So I tell the stories the only way I know how, through my sculpture. Enzo Ferrari. Of all the human endeavor, I don't think there is anything more precise, more accurate, or more sophisticated than a Formula One Ferrari. I'm telling the story that everybody knows, everybody who loves Ferrari, This magnificent engine and also magnificent man. It's called in Grande Vecchio, that's how his paesani called him. It's carved, his image is carved from solid piece of stainless. And of course, everything else is solid stainless. Everything is polished by hands, piece by piece, and it's mounted together from probably maybe 100 pieces of material. It is hard to manipulate stainless steel, move and work with that type of material, this kind of polishing and finishing on both sculptures. Watch your camera.
Okay.
It bounces up.
That's a damn heavy hammer.
It's supposed to be, because this is a heavy stainless. See? It's still curved too much. Basically, it's a story of Bugatti, right? Carlo, his son Ettore and Rembrandt, and Ettore's son Jean. Every part of the thing that you see has to do with them. It's called essence, which is this part of cherry burl that I form with the shape according to all the form and shapes and different idea of the avant-garde type of furniture he was making at the turn of the century in Milano. The Bugatti is split in two, in half a section, so it has a reflection that it's coming from the water. If you look at it really close, you see the famous Ettore Bugatti insignia. This was taken from the Rembrandt, the other Carlo's son. And I tried to honor him, to put it in a different abstract way than he did it. It's obviously it's a spine, it's an abstract way of showing sort of mechanical part into the the live thing. That's what I try to achieve. The layers are there, sort of try to get away from too shiny part, to give them image like it's a skin, his skin part.
He doesn't leave anything untouched. Everything is to perfection. Everything he does. I mean, he has such a passion. It's incredible. And he has a level, he has a mind that very few people have. I mean, just to think of these ideas. And that's what, to me, great cars are all about, the art of coach building, the way they were built. You know, it's something, old world craftsmanship that you don't see any longer. And, but the truth of the matter is, it's become a bygone era. I mean, I would rate Nikko one of the top coach builders in the world. I mean, there were very few people who could come close to what Nikko could do.
When the automobile appeared, it was destined to replace carriages and coaches of all types. People saw it as a replacement, but just of the horse. The coach, the part associated with the people, remained. The industry aligned with this view, and many coach builders continued their work, supplying coaches for the new technology. Over the decades, car companies would build the frame, motor, radiator, everything related to propulsion and control, and the coachworks continued to provide the features and amenities people were used to. Some automobile owners would have one coach for the winter, then change out just the coach for something more appropriate for summer weather. We're familiar with names like Mulliner and Company, Park Ward, Fleetwood, Fisher, and LeBaron, all coachworks that developed and refined the craft to this new experience of driving. Around the mid-1990s, car companies began to absorb the independent coachworks, and with all manufacturing now in-house, the coach became the body. Today, with evolving design and fabrication, the body and frame are now one unified structure. The very best coach builders continued their craft, working for the large companies as well as smaller independent operations and individual automobile owners. The finest work continues to be regarded as coach building. The look and feel has a palpable connection to the past. It's an experience inspired by handcrafted perfection.
I went to school after the war ends, and one day Tito came to town, and then I saw it. This car was there, I remember. And as little I was, I got goosebumps. It took me so much. It was something most magnificent. I never seen anything like this. But I know that he had the huge wheels. I think it was bigger than me. And the RR insignia, it was red. I was so impressed as a little boy that I just couldn't stop admiring it. And I was there, I think, about 2 hours. Till one of the Secret Service chased me away, because I was starting to touch, you see. I was starting to put my fingers in. I couldn't resist it. And that was my first encounter with the Rolls-Royce. I'll never forget it. I was started to work in a place that was repairing everyday cars, trucks and things mostly. And there I learned how to form and make a fender or a door or something, because you can't go to any other place. In a Dubrovnik, there is no such thing. And then come after that, how I have to escape. I think maybe, just maybe, that encounter with the Rolls-Royce first time, it sort of triggered